Why is Yaman walking away? The explosive truth behind his career shakeup. What does it take for a global icon to hit pause on their blazing career? What can make a superstar like Yaman, adored by millions, turn his back on everything he's worked for? And what drives a man to risk it all and venture into the unknown? Hold on tight, Mag-Style Gossip fans, because what you're about to hear will leave you stunned, inspired, and utterly electrified. This is the incredible story of a man who dared to say no more and changed the game forever. Welcome to Mag-Style Gossip, your front row seat to the most jaw-dropping celebrity scoops. Get ready to peel back the layers of an unforgettable journey that's about courage, rebellion, and the quest for authenticity. Trust us, you'll want to stick around for this one. The moment of clarity. Picture the scene, a sleek, soundproof office in the heart of the city. Yaman, the man whose smoldering gaze and magnetic charm have captured hearts worldwide, sits across from his manager. The air is thick with tension. Usually lit with that trademark million-watt smile, Jan's face is now tight, etched with a resolve that's been building for months. Then, with a steady but heavy voice, he drops a bombshell. "I'm done with this path." Those words hang in the air, as if time itself is frozen. The silence that follows is deafening. This is no angry outburst. This is exhaustion, a soul-deep weariness that has slowly crept in beneath the surface of his dazzling career. Yaman's rise to fame has been nothing short of meteoric. From breakout roles to international endorsements, he's become a household name. Billboards bearing his face dominate cityscapes, and his social media following is massive, rivaling that of entire nations. But behind the glamour, something was slipping away. In private moments, he confided, "I felt like a product, not a person." It was a vulnerability rarely seen in the spotlight. The relentless pace of his career, the scripts, the shoots, the red carpet events, had become a machine. And it was slowly crushing the man inside. For Jan, this wasn't just a professional crossroads. It was a battle to reclaim his identity, his passion, and his truth. The breaking point. This decision didn't come out of nowhere. Mag-Style Gossip has the inside scoop, and it's a tale of late-night reflections, endless questioning, and a man staring into the mirror, searching for himself. For months, Jan wrestled with growing unease. The scripts piling up on his desk didn't inspire him. The events he was contractually obligated to attend felt like hollow performances that drained his spirit. "I was living someone else's dream," he admitted. His eyes were distant, but filled with determination. The roles he was being offered, while lucrative, often lacked the depth he craved. The campaigns he fronted, though prestigious, didn't align with his personal values. Yes, he was a star, but at what cost? "I want to tell stories that move people," he said, his voice full of conviction. "Not just play parts that sell." His manager, caught off guard, tried to steer the conversation back to safer ground. "Look at the numbers, Jan," he urged, pulling up charts and projections. The data was undeniable. Jan's star was still rising, with opportunities most actors could only dream of. But Jan wasn't swayed by graphs or dollar signs. "This isn't about logic," Jan told him. "It's about dignity. It's about reclaiming the creative fire that once defined me." "I'm done with this path," he repeated. It wasn't a rebellion against fame. It was a rebellion against the version of fame that had become suffocating, scripted, hollow, and soulless. Choosing freedom over fame. What does it mean to walk away from million-dollar contracts? To turn your back on the spotlight when the world is chanting your name? For Jan, it meant freedom. It meant choosing projects that ignited his soul, even if they came with smaller paychecks and less fanfare. It meant rediscovering the joy of acting, not as a job, but as a calling. "I've been betraying myself for too long," he confessed to a trusted confidant. That confession was the spark that ignited his rebellion, not against fame, but against a version of it that no longer resonated with him. The fallout was immediate. Meetings were canceled, contracts frozen, and Jan's name quietly disappeared from upcoming campaigns. Whispers rippled through the industry. Was he retiring? Was he having a breakdown? Was he sabotaging his career? But those closest to him knew the truth. Jan wasn't falling apart. He was breaking free. "I needed this," he said, a faint smile breaking through the weight of his decision. "Not to escape, but to come back to myself." For the first time in years, he breathed deeply, unburdened by the expectations that had once chained him. This wasn't defiance. This was survival. A bold act of self-preservation in an industry that thrives on conformity. Behind closed doors, Jan's inner circle became his rock. His closest friends, who had known him long before fame took over, saw the man beyond the celebrity. "He's not just a star," one friend told Mag-Style Gossip. "He's someone who's always questioning, always searching for more." This pause in his career, they insist, was an act of courage, a rare and radical move in an industry that demands constant output. Few artists dare to step back at the height of their fame, but Jan did. Why? Because the cost of staying silent, of ignoring the voice inside, was too high. A new beginning. So, what's Jan been up to since making this bold move? He's been rediscovering the beauty of a life unscripted. Picture him in a quiet corner of his home, pen in hand, scribbling down ideas for stories he wants to tell. Imagine him hitting the gym, not for a photo shoot, but for the sheer joy of movement. He's diving into books, philosophy, fiction, poetry, fueling his mind with inspiration. "I'm falling in love with creating again," he shared, his voice brimming with a spark that had been dormant for far too long. He's even started sketching out concepts for projects that reflect his vision, not someone else's. This is Jan Yaman, unfiltered, unshackled, and unstoppable. And the public's reaction has been nothing short of a tidal wave. Fans flooded social media with messages of support, praising his honesty and cheering his stand for authenticity. "Jan is showing us it's okay to put yourself first," one follower tweeted, sparking a viral thread. He's a hero for that. Of course, not everyone understands. Some critics have called his move reckless, a potential career killer. Why walk away when you're on top, they ask. But Jan's not here for the skeptics. His mantra, "I'm done with this path," has become a rallying cry that's resonated far beyond the entertainment world. It's inspired fans, artists, and everyday people to rethink their own journeys, to ask themselves, am I living for me or for someone else's expectations? A catalyst for change. Jan's decision has sent ripples through the industry. Studios, agencies, and boardrooms are all watching closely. His move has challenged the way talent is treated. An insider shared with us, "It's not just about booking the next big project. It's about nurturing creativity." Some predict that Jan's hiatus will set a new precedent, encouraging other stars to demand more control over their careers. Others wonder if he'll return stronger than ever, armed with projects that redefine what it means to be a leading man. But one thing is certain, Jan Yaman is no longer just a name. He's a catalyst for change. Where does Jan go from here? Where does Jan go from here? That's the million-dollar question. And the beauty of it is, he doesn't have all the answers. But he's okay with that. This chapter of his life is unwritten, brimming with possibilities. Will he produce his own films that challenge and inspire? Will he dive into theater, exploring the raw intimacy of the stage? Or perhaps he'll surprise us all with a book, weaving his reflections into something profound. Whatever he chooses, one thing is for sure, it will be on his terms. "I'm not running from success," he says, a grin breaking through the intensity. "I'm redefining it, a masterclass in listening to your heart." Jan's story is a masterclass in listening to your heart. It's about having the courage to stop, reflect, and choose a path that feels right, even when it terrifies you. In a culture that glorifies the grind, Jan is reminding us to pause, to breathe, and to prioritize what truly matters. "I'm not giving up," he says, his voice steady and sure. "I'm choosing me." And that choice, raw, real, and revolutionary, is the most thrilling plot twist we've seen in years. Jan's journey isn't just about the present. It's deeply rooted in his past. From his early days in smaller roles, Jan showed a hunger for authenticity, a desire to connect with audiences on a deeper level. And even then, he was selective, gravitating toward projects that challenged him. But as his fame grew, so did the pressure to conform. The bigger you get, the harder it is to stay true, he once said in an interview. A ripple of change. Now, Jan is facing that tension head-on, and his fans have noticed. Social media is buzzing with stories of how his decision has sparked their own moments of reflection. "I was stuck in a job I hated," one fan shared. "Jan's courage made me realize I could walk away too." Another wrote, "He's not just an actor. He's a reminder that we all deserve to live authentically." Mag-style gossip is living for this energy. The industry is watching too. Jan's move has sparked a much-needed conversation about how we treat talent in this fast-paced world. It's about time we rethink success, creativity, and how we define the careers of those we admire. Jan Yaman's journey is a reminder for us all to live authentically, to chase our own dreams, and to dare to be ourselves in a world that often demands otherwise. This isn't the end of Jan's story. It's just the beginning. And we can't wait to see where he goes from here. Stay tuned to Mag-style Gossip for more exclusive scoops, and remember, keep shining, stay curious, and take care.
Ciao.